Tesla created a supercharger network because they had to. It was out of necessity. But there's no reason why that should be the case for Lucid or any other company.
Hey guys, Kim here with Like Tesla. Once again, I am California dreaming, wishing I was on the other coast. I think I need to be living in California.
This is your calling.
It really is. We actually have a very special episode planned for you today. We have our friend Alex over at Everything Tesla. He's at Monterey Car Week. He's there with Lucid Motors, interviewing them about their new car, the Lucid Air. So we have some questions for him and we're gonna find out all about it.
Hey Kim, thanks for having me on your channel. For those of you who are not familiar with me, my name is Alex and I too have a YouTube channel just like Kim mentioned. It's called Everything Tesla and you can browse to it. The link is in the description of this video. But today I'm in Pebble Beach, California for the Monterey Car Week and I'm taking a close and relatively rare look at Lucid Air. For those of you who are not familiar, Lucid Air is becoming one of the more realistic alternatives to Tesla Model S in a couple of years. But let's take a closer look at this car. I think it's pretty impressive from what I've seen today.
Tesla created a supercharger network because they had to. It was out of necessity. But there's no reason why that should be the case for Lucid or any other company now. So we're a member of the Charging Interface Initiative, which is for short, it's called CharIN. And Tesla's a member of that group as well, as is BMW and Mercedes and Audi and Porsche and a number of infrastructure companies. And together we're going to ensure that there's a fast charging network available for all manufacturers, not just one or two.
Okay, so you go in for like an industry standard where everybody can use the, just like every car can use Chevron or whatever gas station.
Yeah, if every car manufacturer had to have their own gas station, it would be out of control. And it's the same with charging. And don't forget that for the most part you're charging at home. So you drive the car all day, you come home, you plug it in, the next day you go off with a full charge. So
well, I'm sorry, you and me know that, but actually a lot of people don't get that. I personally see no reason for really chargers around me because I always, especially if this one comes with a 400-mile range, but I think that's still on people's mind. Well, what's going to happen when I'm out and about and I run out of energy, which almost never happens, right?
Yeah, it's still it's an expectation that people have. They talk about the road trip and whatnot. So I think it's still important that it's solved and that the fast charging is available. But it's really the minority usage, not the majority. The majority is every night you're charging at home.
We focused on how we could transform the space, both inside the vehicle as well as the space the vehicle takes up in the world around us.
So the Lucid Air has so many groundbreaking features. It has the rear reclining seats that resemble a private jet. It has the motorized headlights and it has the full self-driving with the LiDAR technology. I'm really curious though how many of these features will make it to market. Well,
so I can only speculate obviously. If you ask me that some features they just must have in order to compete on the market, especially in 2 or 3 years. The rapid charging, the range and the self-driving features, I think that has to happen. But other features like there are cool lights that kind of spin when you turn the car on. If they don't make it into the production or at all, I don't think people will be canceling their reservations. So I think there will be compromises. Now, their website says that they will start producing the most complicated top-of-the-line version first. And I'm not really sure if they're going to learn their lesson based on what happened with Tesla. But, in that case, they're going to have all of those features lined up and ready to go by the time they produce their very first car. They might change their strategy and produce a simpler car, and then they'll have a little bit more time to get all those cool features in production. So, again, this is just an educated guess, but we'll see what happens in the next couple of years as they're trying to get to that point. We talked about the rapid charging feature that you have, which to me, that would be a major game changer for me as a customer. Yeah. But what are the other features that you think kind of make this car stand out once it's out there?
Yeah, so from a stats standpoint, it's the 400-mile range, it's the 0 to 60 under 2.5 seconds, but it's really the concept of the vehicle that makes it stand out. It's combining the three primary luxury car types with the mid-size luxury vehicle, so you have the agility and the efficiency and the speed, but then with an interior that's more like the long wheelbase luxury cars, and then an exterior aesthetic and a sportiness that's like a four-door coupe. So this one vehicle really captures all of that, those capabilities of the luxury experience. So that's really what makes it stand out.
Now, speaking of that, now the backseat of this car is literally a private jet experience, right? Now, are you guys going from a Mercedes-Benz kind of a Maybach experience, or you were kind of started thinking about self-driving services where this car can be just summons and do the Uber, self-driving Uber kind of a feature, and that's kind of a targeting the people who are just going to be riding it as passengers?
Yes and yes. It's again, because of its breadth of capability, it's an excellent driver's car. It's incredibly fast. It's agile. This, steering feel matters. But at the same time, that the rear seat experience and the front seat experience, the car is going to be incredibly comfortable and spacious. So it's perfectly suited for a ride-share type of experience, or chauffeur-driven or autonomous. So the car does have all of the sensors and hardware necessary for full autonomy. And the software will take a bit more time to catch up and enable that level 5 autonomy for people that are familiar with the levels, which means just full autonomy. The car can drive itself.
Of course, there are still questions whether or not this car will make it into the production, but they are trying to raise funds right now to be able to start building it. I've also heard rumors out there that they're in talks to possibly be acquired by possibly Ford Motors or maybe other companies. So I actually think that's not that bad of an idea. Wow, that's a Lamborghini that's making all the noise. Yeah, there's just tons of exotic cars all over the place here, and they're all making a lot of noise. It may not be that bad of an idea for a company like Ford. Has no game as far as electric cars is concerned to buy Lucid Motors that have the technology but need the funds and the factory and the staff. I don't think Model 3 is what they're going for. I think they're going for top-of-the-line luxury car market like, Tesla Model S, Mercedes S-Class, 7 Series BMW. Just by looking at the luxury and the technology on the inside the car, the size of the car, they're definitely going for the big guns. And that might actually work out because the car is definitely impressive. The price is $52,500, but that's after incentives. This car starts really at $60,000 before the incentives, and if you compare it to Model 3, or at least try to, with a similar range, that car obviously, as we know, starts at $35,000, and even with all the bells and whistles that you add to it, it will still not be anywhere near $60,000. And then top of the line Lucid Air will be into $100,000 plus. So we're really, even the price is really not in a comparable category. So I think if I was to compare it to Model S, it's definitely very comparable. The range is 400 miles for the top of the line model. I'm sure in a couple of years Tesla will have something very close to that, if not more. The self-driving technology is going to be there. The luxury inside is definitely impressing. Now, what really impressed me is that they are going to have a technology that will charge that car in under 10 minutes, and I think that might just be a difference maker, at least for people like myself and people who drive Teslas and know that even superchargers take a while to charge the car from zero to full. So switching a little bit to a sort of production side, I know your website says that the first customers are going to get like the fully loaded top of the line version.
Yeah.
Are you a little bit concerned that you might repeat the experience that Tesla had with not just Model S but Model X, where they kind of overcomplicated the car, had all these issues up front, versus what they're doing now with the Model 3, where they're kind of coming out with a relatively simple version that's easy to make and then going to ramp it up to more features? What are your plans on that?
Yeah, no, I understand the overcomplication is a concern, and certainly that's something that we've factored into the rollout plan. With a car like the Model X, the problem wasn't that it was fully featured. It was that it had a number of features that were really unnecessary and complicated for no good reason. And so it wasn't part of a core experience to get the car driving and get the car on the road. It was, Falcon doors that had to be kind of created.
Right. Well, with all fairness, you guys have the cool lights that are dancing around. Yeah. That could be the Falcon doors, right?
Yeah. It's much simpler to solve that. If you get a problem with the headlights, it's a lot easier to solve than if you have huge openings in the middle of your car that aren't sealing and aren't opening and closing. So there are some features that are certainly breakthrough and exciting, but they're not going to prevent us from entering production.
All right, Kim, well, that's pretty much it for me here in Pebble Beach. I had a good time, and I have to say, I'm pretty impressed. I mean, let's see what happens with them, but it's definitely an impressive car, and if they can make it to the production, it will be definitely a force to reckon with, and I'm looking forward to it. So thanks for having me on your channel once again. I will see you next time, and remember to stay charged.
Thank you so much, Alex, for getting us this inside scoop. If you haven't already, check out his channel, Everything Tesla. We'll link it below. If you have any questions, write them in the comments below. Let us know, let Alex know, and we'll do our best to answer them for you. If you like our videos, please press the like button and comment below. That really helps my channel grow, as it tells YouTube to share our videos with others and help spread the word of sustainability and EVs. And if you're in the market for an S or an X, or you know someone who is, please use my referral code. Thanks for watching.